You're here because you want to know what's best. Solar in France or solar in the UK? I thought we knew it all in England until today, when I've been out with Francois and Bastien and learnt a few things. So I'm going to take you on the road with me and show you what we found. Look at that blue sky. Crazy French, having to bond your solar panels. Oh look, that is the scariest part, look.
Yeah, there we go. It's got a double insulated symbol.
So this place is like an electrician's dream. Equipment, materials, tools, everything that you could need as an electrician. Loads and loads of different types of circuit breakers and brands. Schneider is a common brand that they use out here. Loads of 𝐿𝐴𝐿. Shout out to the Flexi King. But this is what we've come to get. We're ready to get some conduit loaded up. Yeah. Genius. You just load up all the bits and pieces that you need. These are all the back boxes. Schneider is white. You've got the green ones, the blue ones, loads of different colors. Let us know in the comments if you know why there are different colors other than the brands. Ah, here he is. What have you found? Some trousers.
Ouais, j'ai vu qu'il y avait des promos.
Some work trousers. Spending all the boss's money. Oh, you can buy everything here. You can even buy solar panels that now the customers can see exactly how much they cost. Well, it's only 99 euros for a panel. Why are you charging me 30 grand for a solar install? Exactly. They don't realise there's a lot more that goes into it than just the panels. Oh, you've even got like a nice DIY mounting system that you can stick it on the side of your house for only 389 euros. Oh look, that is the scariest part. Look, Easy Solar Kit pop-up. Yeah, I don't like that. It's like the Home Base or B&Q of France. Home Depot for our American viewers.
So we are back at it again.
Back at it in beautiful Nice. Show us what we're up to here, Francois.
We are going to do the installation here, and he wanted the emplacement, I mean the place for the inverter and everything here. The cable for the feed of the Huawei inverter.
Okay,
so
is that
it's
NYY?
3 wires. We have to squeeze through and look at the crawling space.
Ah. Oh my goodness.
Like a tiny prison.
Look at that. Oh yes. Perfect place for an apprentice.
So as you would say to Ruben, you have to find the main red conduit that leads to the main switchboard. Good luck. Did you get it?
Are you scared of rats?
No.
At least you've got a light.
Okay, what have we got here?
Did you get it on the left?
It is. It looks like there's some dead bodies down the end there. Wowzers.
That's a thumbnail. Yeah, there's a thumbnail right there. I'm going to crawl in after you.
Voila. Merci.
So the first lesson I've learned is that whether you're an apprentice in England or an apprentice in France, you still get all the best jobs. Just to prove that I'm getting in. Oh man.
Ouais. Je l'ai cher, pousse-le.
Hey.
C'est bon.
C'est bon, c'est bon.
Let's get the heck out of here. Oh, we survived.
Yeah, that was easy, right?
Oh, perfect.
Well, no, it's not the end now because I've got to drill a hole. I have to see where to drill because I will drill from near the sink.
Yeah, you don't want to hit a pipe. That would be bad. You see, I think you're going to have a whole audience of fans after this video. All the ladies of France are going to be flocking to the channel to watch.
Don't forget to subscribe and to like.
Perfect.
Is that some time for some artisan angle drilling?
The big bad 20 mil?
I think
25 mil?
22.
22 mil, 1.2 meters long.
I did several houses with that.
Absolute beast. Shame about those drills though. I mean, what is that? What is that rubbish? Wow. Okay, so this is it.
Okay, it was this one, right?
Drilling next to pipes, always fun.
Yeah.
So I've seen these like boxes like that quite a lot in European countries. Is it just like an empty box that has conduits going into it that you can...
Yeah, normally it's every time you have that, it's to connect several wires together, or you know.
So like a junction box.
It's a junction box, yeah. You don't have them in the UK?
We do, but not in the wall like that. It's usually just on the surface. Because we don't use conduits inside the walls. But, yeah. Ah, there we go.
So the idea of what Francois is trying to do here is
On the other side of this wall is the crawl space.
So the floor level of the house comes to about here, which means the crawl space comes all the way across and is below that level. So the idea is we can just drill through the wall there, get into the crawl space, run the cable through and up to the consumer unit, which is what he's done already at that end, and then we can run the cable along and into this mini consumer unit, which will be for the inverter.
Oh,
That's pretty full.
I think the best way would be, because I've got a tiny box, so I can maybe, you know, bolt it here.
Oh, you've got like so many different types of RCDs in there as well. You've got a GE one, you've got a 𝐏𝐻𝐫 one, you've got a �variO one.
The regulations clearly states that, you know, all the brands should be the same.
Should be type tested for the consumer unit. Yeah, same as in the UK. So this is a threaded rod. I never would have thought of using that for a fishing rod. We used to use metal coat hangers in the UK, or a bit of trunking lid, but yeah, better to use the proper rods.
Trying to find the main hole.
Annoying plumbers, they always put pipes in front of you. Sockets.
Box, yeah.
It's difficult to guide it in the right way, isn't it? And so it was time for the multi-tool.
Je vais l'agrandir. Ah, ok, bon, je te passe la sortie.
Well, UK and France both have nightmare cable routes. Hope you didn't cut that cable too short.
Very often it's quite handy to have the whole area of the house where you can crawl in underneath, because like this you can really install the sockets and everything.
Yeah, it's great.
Easier. The small ones. There we go.
Plenty.
So Francois just shown me this and told me something interesting, which is that if you're using 𝐶𝐲 MC4 connectors in France, then you need to use the official 𝐶𝐲 MC4 crimping tool, which is this. And if you don't, then something goes wrong, it will void the warranty, apparently. Yeah, I mean, it looks decent quality, but it doesn't look anything that different to the ones that we use.
This is to have the proper torque when you bolt it together at the end. Pressure couple, do we say? No, how you say, like, you know, like the coupe
Oh
de
yeah.
serrage.
What? So you use that?
Yeah, you use that like this and like this. Then you would actually, it will stop when you see, when it will be good. The pressure would be good.
That's amazing.
See,
Wow.
and then you can have, they also provide you with this.
Oh, so the pin should not be too deep.
Too deep or too
high.
Or too high. Yeah, this is to check that.
Yeah. Oh,
Sorry about it. So,
I feel like some money is going to be spent. Got to get myself one of these now. Good old Germans, they know what they're doing. Trina, what wattage?
those are 445 watts.
Okay, yep, exactly the same as we use 440 or 445 bifacials.
The white
back sheet, yeah.
Yeah, but it's still glass.
Yeah, exactly. Wow, never seen these before.
They are made in Italy.
Okay. And you literally just screw the...
Yeah, you don't screw. You've got the main brackets.
You just lay the panels on.
Yeah.
They weigh 60 kilos each?
Yeah, try to lift one.
Oh wow, yeah. I mean, they're just... Wow, they're so solid. A good view up the top, is there? That is the reflection of the sea.
Yeah, it's called the albedo.
Albedo effect. Not to be confused with the albino effect, which is what you get when a British person who's not seen the sunshine in quite a long time stands next to a solar panel. Wow, wow, wow. Check it out. That is a seriously nice south-facing solar array that's going to be on there. Reflected sun off the sea, look at that.
Yeah, they should get like
Beautiful.
10 to 15% more power.
Absolutely beautiful. He's a strong guy if he was able to carry all these up. Comment t'as fait? Oh, il est costaud.
King of England, if you can lift it.
If I should do my Romanian deadlifts with these in the morning, I'd be way more butch. So one thing they know how to do well in France is lunch. We just stopped and actually had a sit-down lunch. Do you always stop like in a cafe or restaurant for lunch usually?
Half of the time.
Half of the time. Because I know it's quite common in France for employees to stop for like 2 hours for lunch, right? And they go to the restaurant, they have wine.
That would be mostly the civil servants or
Yeah.
the employees of really big companies like banks.
Not the tradesmen.
Yeah, never the tradesmen.
Shame. Maybe one day. So now that we've had a nice lunch, we've got our strength, we're going to start getting some panels up on the roof. So Francois wants to show us his Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, how to lift panels up by yourself. He's created a special harness, the Solar Turtle. Check it out.
The good thing is that you have your free hands.
That's true. So you can actually climb the ladder with a solar panel with 3 points of contact. That is pretty impressive. What do you think, guys? Let us know in the comments. I'm not sure whether Health and Safety Executive in Britain would approve, but I definitely think it's ingenious, if nothing else. I've seen these people on Instagram doing it just like slung over their shoulder without even a harness, so I think it's better than that at least. Right, measuring. Does it all make sense? How far do we need to be from the edge of the roof?
1 meter. Yeah, directly this.
Go on that line,
there.
yeah. And then that means we've got a straight line already, basically, right? So each of these will have a panel in portrait, and this is obviously an end clamp. In between you've got mid clamps, and they're using these little bits of metal just to space everything out nice and neatly, so that each set of blocks is evenly spaced, perfectly sized to fit the panels on, and then they're all following along this line here, so you've got a nice straight line basically all the way along to follow, so that they're all facing in the right way. So that's it, we have all the blocks spaced out, and now getting these optimizers laid out and then ready to start laying some panels. So the reason that optimizers are being used on this system is because actually there is shading. So you see the shadow here from this chimney? Right now the sun is up there and it's casting a shadow from the chimney, which will cover some of the panels. Also in the heart of winter, when the sun's low, you get a little bit of a shadow from this. And then the other fact is we've got a second roof down here where there are panels going on, and obviously at some point that's going to be in shade before the top roof is on shade. So multiple reasons why we're installing optimizers on this system, just like we would in the UK really. If there's shading, if there's multiple roof facets, then we generally put optimizers or microinverters in. So Francois is getting the optimizers out and laying them in place. This is a Huawei system, so it's similar to SolarEdge in that you can have optimizers with Huawei. Never seen one of these systems before, so it's going to be interesting to see how it goes in. On the surface, it looks very, very similar to the SolarEdge, kind of in the way that it sets up. So we're just talking about tools, and I said that there's one universal thing that's common between UK and France, and probably a lot of countries, about what we use for a hammer as an electrician. So he's been using that screwdriver, I've been using this screwdriver, and that is just a classic electrician thing. Let me know if you're in another country and you use something else as a hammer that's not a hammer. So another thing that's different about UK and French when it comes to solar is this. They have to earth and bond their panels. You're going to have to run an earth wire all the way down from the roof to the inverter.
That's correct, yeah.
And you're going to have to put an earthing bonding wire between every panel.
Yeah.
Jeez! Now, because this is a flat roof system and there's no metal rail, it means that they're going to have to do a wire between every panel. If there was a metal rail, then you'd earth or bond that rail, but that's not the case, so we're going to need some of this. So the string wiring is going in. The wire basically comes up from the inverter in the garage, up in the corner there. It's going to go all the way along, and then it's going to go down to that roof, to 2 panels, and then back up and along, and then the same with this row all the way along here, It's going to go down and do 2 panels and then back and along. So each string has 8 panels, 6 on the main roof and 2 on the lower roof. So they're equal string length and equal number of panels on each string. So you use the self-tapping screw and then you go into the hole on the back of the solar panel. So you can't use the frame as a bonding conductor, you need to literally wire them together.
Yeah, that's the regulation, because if you remove the panel that do the connection between them, then you lose the whole thing.
So you're going to need to do, 2 there, 2 there. I mean, you could double up, I guess, couldn't you? You could just go from there, to there, then to there, then to there, Crazy French, having to bond your solar panels. It's a double insulated system. Its protection method is double insulation. You don't need to earth them. That's according to the British regs.
Well, you have the F symbol on it.
That is true, but they're the same panels as we use, right? So on the back, it should have the square within a square. Yeah, there we go. It's got a double insulated symbol.
In France, we are terra, we are TT.
Yeah, TT. So does that mean if it's a TT system in the UK, we should be bonding our solar panels? Aye, aye, aye. The last panel going on. There we are, one system. All panels in. Now be honest, did I slow you down?
Well, I took it easy, for sure.
Take it easy when Jordan's around. That's nice. I'm glad I helped you. So, how many kilowatt peak here? 7.2 kilowatt. 16 times 450. Do the maths, guys, in the comments. That's how slow our brains are now. At the end of the day, it's 4:30. The sun is about to dip below the horizon, just over there. 7,200 watts. And I bet this is going to generate a huge amount of energy annually because they get so much sun here, way more than we do in the UK. So it does make a lot of sense to have solar here for sure. Not that it doesn't in the UK, but there's definitely a lot more sun hours in this part of the world. Better than Scotland as well, right?
In Scotland, I actually checked last November, and I was shocked because I use PV,
PV
No, it's called it's a European software to measure the yields.
Oh yeah.
With the angles and the location, and Scotland is really bad.
Is it?
Compared to south of France, because it's.
I mean, most places in Europe are going to be bad compared to south of France, right? Let's face it.
Between north of France and south of France, you've got half more production.
Wow, half more. Boom. Go to Portugal, you get even more though. Further south you go over the sea, right over there, over the sea to Morocco, even more. And that's why we sent panels to Africa, because they generate so much energy when they're like on the equator. They just generate a ton of energy. But anyway, isn't this beautiful? Thanks for having me, Francois.
You're welcome. Always a pleasure.
It's always fun meeting up with you, learning about new stuff in the lovely France. Look at that blue sky. Oh my goodness, I love it. So the apprentice is fast asleep.
As per usual.
Yeah, so one thing that doesn't change between the UK and France is apprentices. They're always on their phones and they just want to sleep all the time. But there are quite a few differences that we've seen today between the install that Francois has done and what we would do in the UK. Earthing of the array, that's definitely something that's quite different. Also the Huawei optimizers, something that I'd never seen, and I just spoke to Tom from our office and he said that in the UK Huawei optimizers are like impossible to get hold of. Rare as rocking horse poo, as he described it. So that's pretty rare. The wiring methods, so obviously there's the crawl space, which was pretty crazy. And then the wiring methods of running everything in conduit, that's obviously something that we're not used to. It's funny asleep on my shoulder. Mounting system on the roof. I'd never seen that mounting system before. What's it called?
Sun ballast.
Sun ballast.
It's from Italy.
The sun ballast mounting system from Italy. Definitely something a bit different. I would say it's quicker for installing the panels. I don't know whether assembling it is quicker because obviously you've got all of the weight that you've got to lift up.
But then I guess you need ballast anyway, right? We use the ballasted system from Van der Valk, and you just need big slabs, big concrete slabs, so it's the same thing really. The other consumer unit, we didn't really end up showing much about the connection in the consumer unit, but you use double pole breakers, right?
Always.
Double pole
It's
MCB.
compulsory.
So we use double pole RCBOs, but for an MCB, just a normal disjoncteur that just does overcurrent, it's only single pole in the UK. Now another difference between UK and France is the way that apprenticeships work. Like young Bastien here, although he likes to sleep, he does work, and because he works, he gets paid. How much do you think apprentices get paid here in France? Combien les apprentis sont payés en France?
700, yeah.
7,000.
7,000 euros.
7 million euros. Quick, give him his P45. Okay, so 700 euros a month is how much you get paid. And that's a first year apprentice?
Yeah, that's it.
Premièrement?
Yes.
Yeah? And you like being an electrician?
Yes, I like.
Yeah. What do you like the most, apart from sleeping?
It's Hulk.
Hulk.
The Incredible Hulk, that's what Bastien calls Francois, the Incredible Hulk. And he is, let's face it, I mean, he can lift an entire solar panel on his own.
And I can bring a single block by myself also on the roof.
But in the last video, our viewers thought he looked like a certain film star. If you've seen that video, let us know in the comments who it was.
My name is Maximus Decimus Meridius, commanders of the armies of the north.
I will have my revenge.
And gentlemen in England now
bed
shall think
themselves accursed they were not here.
Wow, we're really sharing some culture here. This doesn't happen in the van on the way home from work in England. All they do is grunt and fart. And
And the French do Shakespeare.
the French do Shakespeare. Who'd be a British Sparky?
Partigiano. Oh, bella ciao, bella ciao, bella ciao, ciao, ciao.
Well, that was fun. Hope you enjoyed it too. Make sure you subscribe. See you on the next one.